Picture this. You've just landed your dream job in Canada. The salary looks great until you realize half of it goes to taxes and rent. Imagine paying $2,000 a month for a tiny apartment. 1 in 5 Canadians spend over 50% of their income on housing alone, and you're left wondering how to afford groceries. We're diving into the reality of Canada's job market and why many young professionals are struggling to make ends meet. We're peeling back the layers of the Canadian dream. Let's start with the basics. Housing that eats up most of your income, healthcare that's free but comes with long wait times, a job market where degrees don't always translate to careers. These are just a few pieces of the complex puzzle we'll explore. Canada's reputation for high living standards comes with a hefty price tag, and it's one that's leaving many residents feeling the pinch. In major Canadian cities, the cost of putting a roof over your head is skyrocketing. Take Toronto or Vancouver, for instance. These cities consistently rank among the most expensive in the world for real estate. A modest apartment in downtown Toronto could easily set you back more than you'd pay for a spacious flat in many European capitals. But it's not just about finding a place to live. The everyday costs in Canada can be surprisingly steep. Groceries, for one, often shock newcomers. That bunch of bananas or carton of milk, they might cost you double what you're used to paying elsewhere. Transportation is another wallet drainer. Whether you're buying a car or relying on public transit, be prepared to allocate a significant chunk of your budget. In many Canadian cities, a monthly transit pass can cost as much as a car payment in other countries. Now you might be thinking, surely there must be some hidden gems, some affordable corners of this vast country. Well, while it's true that smaller towns and rural areas can offer some relief, they come with their own set of challenges. Limited job opportunities and reduced access to services often offset any cost savings. But wait, there's more. Let's talk about something that often flies under the radar: taxes. Canada's tax system is complex and for many quite burdensome. Income tax rates can climb to nearly 50% for high earners in some provinces. And don't forget about sales tax, which can add up to 15% to your purchases in some parts of the country. Energy costs are another sneaky expense. Those long, cold Canadian winters mean hefty heating bills. And in summer, well, air conditioning isn't just a luxury when temperatures soar. Healthcare, while publicly funded, isn't entirely free. Dental care, prescription medications, and many other services often come out of pocket. Many Canadians find themselves living paycheck to paycheck, with little left over for savings or discretionary spending. The dream of home ownership is slipping away for many young professionals, replaced by the reality of long-term renting or living with roommates well into adulthood. It's a situation that's forcing many to reconsider their priorities and lifestyle choices. Some are fleeing big cities for smaller towns, while others are looking beyond Canada's borders for more affordable opportunities. While Canada often touts its robust economy, the job prospects for recent graduates and young workers can be surprisingly bleak. Compared to other developed nations, Canada's job market for young professionals is more competitive and less rewarding than you might expect. For newcomers to Canada, the situation is even more challenging. Immigration policies, while designed to attract skilled workers, often create unexpected hurdles. Many immigrants find that their foreign credentials and work experience aren't fully recognized, leaving them underemployed or struggling to break into their chosen fields. But it's not just newcomers facing an uphill battle. Even Canadian-born young professionals are encountering a puzzling mismatch between their education and available job opportunities. You might spend years and thousands of dollars on a degree, only to discover that the jobs in your field are scarce or don't pay enough to cover your student loans. You've probably heard that Canada is cold, but have you ever wondered just how extreme it can get? Canada experiences some of the most diverse and intense weather conditions on the planet. From bone-chilling winters to scorching summers, the climate here is anything but mild. But what does this mean for daily life? Imagine waking up to minus 40 degrees Celsius temperatures, where your eyelashes freeze and your car refuses to start. This isn't a rare occurrence in many parts of Canada. In fact, for several months each year, Canadians battle against harsh winter conditions that affect everything from commuting to socializing. But it's not just about the cold. Canada's weather extremes can take a toll on mental health, too. The long, dark winters in many Canadian regions can lead to higher rates of seasonal affective disorder, SAD, a type of depression linked to changes in seasons. And what about the economic impact? Extreme weather events in Canada, from ice storms to floods, can cost billions in damages and lost productivity. These aren't just occasional occurrences, they're becoming more frequent and severe due to climate change. But perhaps the most profound effect of Canada's climate is how it shapes social interactions and lifestyle choices. The weather can dictate when and how people socialize, often leading to a phenomenon known as Canadian hibernation during the winter months. Ever wondered why Canadians seem so enthusiastic about summer? It's because those few months of warmth are precious and fleeting. The climate also influences where Canadians choose to live. Despite being the second largest country by land mass, most of Canada's population is concentrated in a narrow band along the US border. Why? Because that's where the weather is most hospitable. And let's not forget about the everyday inconveniences. Constant snow shoveling, battling icy sidewalks, and dealing with weather-related travel delays are just a few of the regular challenges Canadians face. But it's not all doom and gloom. The extreme climate has also fostered a certain resilience among Canadians. They've developed unique ways to cope with and even embrace their challenging weather. From ice fishing to dog sledding, many Canadians have turned weather-related challenges into cultural touchstones. Still, for those considering a move to Canada, it's crucial to understand the full impact of the country's extreme climate. It's not just about bundling up in winter. It's about adapting to a way of life that's profoundly shaped by weather conditions most of the world would consider extreme. So the next time you dream about the Great White North, ask yourself, are you ready to weather the storm of Canadian living? You might think that after enduring the extreme weather and job market challenges, Canadians can at least rely on their famous healthcare system for comfort. But let's take a closer look at what many consider the crown jewel of Canadian society. Canada's universal healthcare system is often touted as a model for the world. But what's it really like when you need medical care in the Great White North? Let's start with a common scenario. You're feeling under the weather and decide it's time to see a doctor. Simple enough, right? Not quite. First, you'll need to find a family doctor. Sounds easy, but in Canada, this can be a daunting task. Many Canadians spend years on waiting lists, hoping to be assigned a primary care physician. In some provinces, up to 15% of residents don't have a family doctor. So what do you do when you're sick? You might end up in a walk-in clinic, where you'll likely face long wait times and see a different doctor each visit. But let's say you're one of the lucky ones, with a family doctor. Great. Now you just need to get an appointment. Depending on where you live, this could take days or even weeks. And if you need to see a specialist, well, you might want to get comfortable because you could be waiting months or even years. The wait times in Canada's healthcare system are more than just an inconvenience. They can have serious consequences for patients' health and quality of life. Imagine needing hip replacement surgery and being told you'll have to wait a year or more. That's a year of pain, limited mobility, and potentially worsening health conditions. Now, you might be thinking, at least it's all free, right? Well, not exactly. While basic medical services are covered, there are significant gaps in the public healthcare system. Dental care and vision care are often not included in provincial health plans. This means many Canadians face substantial out-of-pocket expenses for essential health services. Regular checkups and cleanings can cost hundreds of dollars, and more complex procedures can run into the thousands. For many Canadians, especially those without private insurance, dental care becomes a luxury they simply can't afford. The healthcare system is also facing a shortage of healthcare professionals, particularly in rural and remote areas. This means that even if you can get an appointment, you might not receive the level of care you need. Overworked doctors and nurses struggle to keep up with patient loads, potentially compromising the quality of care. So while Canada's healthcare system looks great on paper, the reality is often quite different.